Cascade Hoops Talk, this is Billy D. Hey, this morning we have Josh Gamblin. He's the head men's basketball coach, Mid-America Christian. Also some results in the River States and one top 25 team in action. Buckle up. Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Cascade Hoops Talk, produced in the shadow of the beautiful Cascade Mountains and bringing the world NAIA basketball. One podcast at a time. So one top 25 team in action, Columbia College in a non-conference game. They were at Kansas Wesleyan. They beat Kansas Wesleyan 81-70. You can see there Caleb Jones, 19 points, 3 rebounds. Jameel Goins, 16 points, 10 rebounds for the double-double. So Columbia College, they go now to 18-2, and they will be hosting UHSP on Saturday. So the next game is wrong at the top there. They're hosting UHSB on Saturday. Also tonight, the River States was in action. We really haven't talked about them that much here lately, but IU Kokomo got a big win at St. Mary of the Woods. You know how I feel about road games. Rio Grande got the win at IU East. Not an easy place to win. And West Virginia Tech went to Midway and got a win. Those were all important wins in the standings. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. You can see Shawnee State is still clearly in the lead of that. That's the East Division. They're up 3 games on Rio Grande and Midway. That loss to West Virginia Tech brought West Virginia Tech a little closer to them. IU Kokomo in the West Division, they're tied with IU Southeast, and now St. Mary of the Woods is 3-4. Okay, so what do we got coming up this weekend? So on Friday, take note, this IU Kokomo game against West Virginia Tech has been moved to Friday. So West Virginia Tech will be at IU Kokomo. That is an important game in the standings. And then Shawnee State will be at IU Southeast. That is a critical game, more so for IU Southeast than Shawnee State. But nevertheless, that is a game to keep your eye on, and it's a critical game in the River States. Hey, yesterday morning we were able to get a hold of Josh Gamblin. You know how they had that big weekend win over Hope. It's a historic program. Josh Gamblin, one of the best coaches in the country. It's one of the toughest places to play in the country. We hadn't got a hold of him for a while. He was kind enough to come on the show and talk MACU basketball and Sooner basketball. What a pleasure to have him on today. Josh Gamblin, MACU. Let's take a listen. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, I got Josh Gamblin on the phone. He's the head men's basketball coach, Mid-America Christian University, MACU they call it. Thanks, Coach, for being on.
Billy, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
No, I was looking through results from last night, and you beat Science and Arts. I know that was a big win in the standings. You and I just talked about it a little bit. I thought that was really a key win for you guys to stay in the hunt. I know Science and Arts has struggled, but as I just told you, I don't trust road games. So I thought that was a big one. Just talk about last night's game and, the importance of being able to win in Chickasha and, what it means with the conference and where you're at in the conference right now.
Yeah, you nailed it. USAO is much better than their record.
Yeah.
I think they've been very close to beating the best teams in our league. They've been right there. They were right there at Nelson the Saturday previous. So Coach Huey does a great job, and really hard to win. The process of winning is really, really hard, and so proud of our guys for hanging in there. It wasn't pretty. I thought in the first half we did not rebound the ball well enough to win. In the second half, we were able to string together some stops and allowed us to take the lead and then keep the lead. We have not made shots recently, and the numbers kind of flipped yesterday for us, and we did make some in that stretch in the second half. But proud of our guys for hanging in and competing, and we have a ways to go. We have to get better. We have to continue to get better because it doesn't get any easier. Going to OCU Thursday will be really, really tough.
Yeah, you definitely have I want to talk about that one, but I'm just, Looking at you in the standings, you and I were just talking. I didn't realize that you have it in one location now. It used to be you had to get in that top 4 to get a home game, but still you need the seeding. And right now, what are you, what is it, 5 or 6? But you're only 2 games out of second. You're 3 games out of first, and there's a lot of basketball to play. What does MACU need to do to get on a hot streak? You've got some home games coming up. What does MACU need to do? You've been playing really good defense. You've been keeping scores down, but what do you need to do going forward?
Well, I think for our group, we have to protect the ball. We have to rebound the ball. Like our turnover rate in our 2 losses Thursday and Saturday was extremely high. And, you're going to make shots, you're going to miss shots. The quality of shot is what matters. And then getting as many of those as you can. And I think if we can take care of the ball, we can hang in there with anybody. And so we got to take care of the ball. But, we have to clean up our pick and roll coverage. We have to continue to get better there. But I just think wins come down to, can you rebound it and can you take care of it? There's some nights where making shots can hide, the warts that may pop up in a game with coverages and schemes. But, we have to be able to win games in which we have not made shots. We were close Saturday at Wesleyan. We didn't make any shots, and we were right there at the end. But we turned it too much. But we have to continue to become a better rebounding team. And then we have to protect the ball better. And a lot of that comes down on me. I need to do a better job helping our guys at the end of the day.
I'll tell you what, Coach, in that conference, you need some dogs to rebound. That is a rebounding conference, isn't it?
No doubt.
Oh,
it really is. A lot of tough players, a lot of really good coaches, hard to win on the road. As you mentioned, the environments are great.
Yeah.
So it'll be really difficult. But, I love our kids and they show up and want to get better every day. And so, we're going to chop wood, carry water, and get back to it.
You mentioned your guys, Morris Williams. He's a junior, trying to remember. He's out of Plano, Texas, 6'8". He's rebounding the heck out of the ball for you, but he's also really banging the 3. Just talk about his game.
Yeah, elite shooter. Really has a good stroke, very, very confident and comfortable shooting the ball, has worked to become a good playmaker for us, to get to the free throw line, to get others open, and has become a better defender as the season has gone on. His feet are getting better. He's more comfortable, guarding on the perimeter. And also, at times we play him against 5s and pick and roll coverage situations. So, but more than that, Morris is an incredible kid. He comes from a great family, a great AAU program, a great high school program in Plano. And so he is from the same AAU program as several of our former players and my assistant coach, Dom Ford. So, but incredible young man. We talk about hoops all the time, but Morris is a great kid. He's really fun to coach and cares about winning and wants to get better. And we're lucky to have him.
And then you and I talked about it before we started, but Shannon Strickland, he's a senior out of Monticello, Arkansas. He's been another key guy for you, 6'5" guard.
Yeah, and kind of does a little bit of everything for us. We size up, size down. He's played 4 different positions for us, can really make plays out of the ball screen, has shot the 3 well, and then, takes a lot of different faces and hats for us defensively, guards bigs, guards, and we need him to be good. And he has, he has consistently competed, consistently shown up, another fantastic young man, and really wants to win. Shannon, as a senior, really, really wants to win, sometimes wants to win too bad. He cares about it so much. And that, Billy, that's really this group. Like we've had some tough results and things haven't always gone our way, but like top to bottom, our seniors really show up. Clarence Crosby, Shannon, you mentioned Morris, but like Clay Baldwin started, now he's coming off the bench and doesn't miss a beat, works really hard. James Locke is a senior, comes off the bench, works really hard. And then our underclassmen are getting better. Xander's a sophomore, Demarius is a junior, Corey Skillman's playing really, really good basketball. And we got one big at the break, but Abel Houston and Manuel have done a great job kind of coming off the bench in hard situations when they don't know how much they're going to play. And they've done a lot of good things. So proud of this group, but we do have to get a lot better. The process has to continue to get better.
Coach, I have a question for you. So as a fan, I look and I pull up Thursday's schedule and I always try to figure, how are these standings going to move out of this and what needs to happen? How, as a coach, do you keep from just as close as this race is from focusing in on that and just focusing in
Yeah,
on what you need to do? I think it'd be so
great question.
tough.
Yeah, great question. It is, and I think players really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
If we win this one, we're here. And again, like this is going to sound like a broken record. At the end of the day, we need to have a great practice today. Our habits need to get a little bit better. We need to learn from our mistakes, but also, be confident in what we can do. Try to do our very best to prep for a really good Oklahoma City team, because that's all we can do, right? We can't control anybody else or how they play or anything like that. We need to just take care of business because, like you said, although we've slipped up and, lost Thursday and Saturday to really good teams, at the
Yeah.
end of the
On the
day,
road. Yep.
this race is far from over. It's far, far from over. So let's just keep getting better. Let's keep getting better.
Let's stick with Oklahoma City just for a moment. Sam Conkey is a young coach. I've met him in Kansas City. I really like him. I think he's got a great future. I think he's done a great job there. They're not quite over the hump yet, but I think he's done a great job getting them competitive in that conference.
He's done a fantastic job. I think Sam does a great job. I was so impressed. They beat us soundly at our place, and we don't lose
Yeah,
much.
you don't
at the
lose
Gulf
very
Key.
often there. Yeah.
And I was so impressed with how they moved the ball, how they shared the ball, how they defended. They're really physical. They're almost violent on the offensive glass. They're so good there. But I think they play the way everybody wants to play. They find an advantage. They keep that advantage. They make the right play. Really impressed with Carlisle and Alexander. They're both really good, but I think everybody shares the ball. I think Sam's done a great job blending together Coach Barakoff's guys who returned, and then bringing his CBC guys over with him. But I've been really, really impressed with Sam. He is up and coming and one of the best in the business. And so it's been not fun to prepare for him, hard to prepare for him, but he's done a fantastic job.
As we said, I know coaches aren't allowed to look ahead, but I think that this stretch you're coming into is just crucial. You got to go to Oklahoma City, as we just talked about, and then you've got a really crucial 4-game homestand before you have a couple really tough road games. I'm not sure what the question is there, Coach, but
No,
I think
but
it's an important
I
5
get what you're
games.
saying. It really is. It really is. And I think what you see in the middle of January is these type of situations where you can win one, you can lose one, but you can't let it cause the next result, right? Like a really good win on a Thursday doesn't guarantee that you're going to play well on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And so I think it comes down to like those daily habits, the process. Okay, here's what we did well Thursday night. Here's what we're going to need to do well Saturday. And we need to have a really sharp, really good practice Friday. We talk about sharpening the blade, sharpening the sword. Like we got to get better to try not to look. Because I think when you look ahead, whether you're really good, whether you're going through a bad time, it can become almost anxiety producing, where we have to live in the here and now. Just like, anytime you think a schedule is going to go one way, you think, oh, we could win this one, we could lose this one. I feel like it almost always flips the other way,
Absolutely,
so
yep.
Anybody can beat anybody in this league. I think every night you're going to see results that you're like, whoa, I didn't expect that, but that's our league. I mean, listen, guys, OPSU and USAO, Central Christian, I know they're a little bit lower. All three of those teams are really good, really well coached. They're going to win games down the stretch. And then, SCU, what you mentioned, we're 2 games out of second, 3 games out of first. Well, we're 2 or 3 games, out of 8th or 9th too. C of O's playing really well. John Brown's, SCU, Coach Quinn's done a great job there. So the league is really, really tough.
This is a dumb question, but everybody I talk to in that conference, when they go through the schedule like we're doing, they mention MACU, and they always say, and that's impossible to win there. That's pretty much the words they use. So what is it makes it so tough to win? How do you pronounce it? The Gulk?
The Gulky.
Gulky.
Yeah,
What makes it so tough to win? Why do you have such an advantage there at the Gulky Activity Center?
You know what? All I know is Nelson and Oklahoma City can't say that because they came in and beat us already at the Gulky this year. So I think we have great fans. I think our kids really prepare hard. We're comfortable there. But, I only remember the losses. I don't remember the wins. So I don't know if I can give you a good answer on that. But yeah, I think, it's all about the players, and we've had good players over the years, and they love playing at home. And so hopefully we can keep that going.
Well, I'm sure you have some fans listening to this interview. I'm going to tell you that these next 4 games, this rest of this season, you got to get out and support this team. They got a key homestand coming up. So you got to get those fans out there. So fans, go out. You're going to see some great basketball. This Sooner Conference is tough this year. Coach, it reminds me of the old saying. You ask a coach what was the best win of your career. The answer is always every road win.
Amen. Amen.
And in the Sooner this year, that's even truer than ever, isn't it?
It is. It's hard to win. It's really hard to win. And, I think what you understand and what some people don't understand at the small college level, the travel is hard. Sometimes you're driving the day up of a game, 3.5 hours, driving back right after, turning around, going to class, and then, have another one the next afternoon. It's, traveling on the road is really hard, and playing against really good coaches and really good teams is a hard thing to do.
Well, Coach, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you giving us a few minutes this morning. We can't wait so long next time to get you on, but I really appreciate you taking the time. Wish you luck down this stretch.
Well, Billy, you're the best in the business, and I appreciate you and the coverage you give to our level and our teams. We wouldn't be the same without you.
That's very, very kind. Thank you. That's Josh Gamblin. He's the head men's basketball coach at MACU, Mid-America Christian. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot to Josh Gamblin, also to Mid-America Christian. They've got a tough stand coming up. He's a stand-up guy, though. I always enjoy talking to him. Appreciate him taking some time in the middle of the busy part of the season. So thank you, Coach. Hey, that's what I have for you today. Big day today. But remember, the Crossroads does not play today. They don't play again till Saturday, so it's going to be a little bit of a different Wednesday. But we'll be back with you again tomorrow morning. This is Billy D. We'll talk soon. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.